If you're thinking about making Neapolitan pizzas at home, you might have just bought yourself a pizza oven, or you might just be getting stuck in the process somewhere. In this video, I'm going to show you how to take your pizzas from this to this. And along the way, I'm going to throw in some pro tips and tricks to help your process go as smooth as possible and to help you make some amazing pizza at home. Let's go. All right, so the first thing you need to do is have your dough at room temperature. That's probably the biggest thing that's going to help you. If you've bought frozen dough, or if you've bought dough from somewhere else, or even if you've made dough yourself, it needs to be at room temperature. So if you've fridge fermented it, it needs to have sat on the side for at least 4 to 6 hours to get to room temperature. But you want to see air bubbles in there, you want to see it ready to go. This is number one. You need to have room temperature, airy dough. Now, the fundamental point of Neapolitan pizza is that airy crust. So we're going to work towards getting air into that crust, and that starts with your dough. Make sure you've got Neapolitan dough. Make sure you're using a recipe for Neapolitan pizza dough. Once you've got that and you're at this stage, we're ready to start stretching. Tip number 2 is to have everything ready. Your space, your ingredients. My oven is heating up to 450C, so that's going to be ready. Everything is ready in front of me. You don't want to be stretching a pizza and then realize you've got ingredients to chop in the fridge, because that pizza is going to stick to the side. So tip number 2 is have everything ready, everything chopped, everything ready to go. I use these Ooni pots, and they're really good for just prepping and putting the lid on. I can even keep them in the fridge, but I just know that my ingredients are ready to go. So we're ready to stretch. So what ingredients have I got ready? I've got my sauce. Now, pizza sauce is so important. It's uncooked, it's fresh tomatoes. Ideally, you'll be using San Marzano tomatoes. If you can't find them, just use the highest quality tin tomatoes you can from a supermarket. Add a pinch of salt and you'll be absolutely fine. Adjust the salt to your taste. You can add things like basil or oregano in there, but just keep it simple. That's the key to a really good Neapolitan pizza sauce, is just the freshness and the simplicity. You want that to shine through on a margarita. So keep it simple, but use really good ingredients. So I've got my sauce ready. Secondly, I've got my grated Parmesan. Again, use Grana Padano Parmesan or really good high quality. Again, this is your taste. You can use whatever you want, but this just gives it a depth to the base. I've got my cheese. Now this is Fior di Latte Julienne cut cheese, but you can use whatever cheese you like. Ideally, it will be low moisture mozzarella. A lot of the supermarkets make that now. It's the one that isn't in the water, and then you can cut that how you like it. But don't do massive chunks. Ideally, they'll just be small cuts that can melt easily in a fast amount of time. I've also got some basil, because the margherita pizza is based on the Italian flag, and that's got green in it, which is the basil. And then lastly, I've got my semolina ready. Fine semolina. This is the key to a lot of problems that people come across. You can use flour at a push, but again, a lot of supermarkets do fine semolina. If you can get it, use that, because that's going to solve a lot of your problems. If you're having problems like pizza sticking to the side, pizza sticking to the peel, it's all down to the semolina. So I've got everything ready to go. So we're going to start stretching our pizza now. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is put some of my semolina on the work surface. The next thing I want to do is get my dough and add it to that semolina, and then we're going to coat it. We don't want any sticky parts of dough, but we're going to be really careful not to press the dough. We don't want to affect any of the air that we've worked so hard to incorporate into the dough. We don't want to be rough with it. We want to be really gentle. So give it a good coating of semolina, top and bottom. Just remember which side is the top, and always keep the top on the top. We've got our dough, it's coated in semolina. We're going to stretch. So now our goal is to push all of the air into the crust. And how we do that, there's a couple of ways you can do that. You can start from the middle, push down and work out, or you can go around the edge, define your crust, and then push the middle out. What I'm going to do is start from the middle, push down, and then slowly with my fingertips is just push all of that air out to the crust. If it feels sticky at this point, just add some more semolina. We're gonna brush it off in a second anyway. Don't be scared about using semolina. You wanna lock all of that air into that crust. Don't rush it. If you don't feel comfortable working at speed, there's absolutely no rush because we've got all of the semolina on at this point. It's not gonna stick to the work surface. Now, we can turn the pizza over and do the same again. Just remember to be so careful of that crust. Don't touch it, don't pinch it. So same again, a little bit of semolina and work that air into the crust and lock it in. You want the crust to be about 1 inch maximum, because if you have got the air in there from the proving process, it's gonna blow up, which is exactly what you want. You want it to be light, airy, crispy. So I'm happy with that now. I'm gonna turn it back over because the top is back on the top. There are a lot of ways to then stretch the base. I'm gonna show you one really simple way, and that's to use gravity. So we're gonna use the top of our knuckles here and these 2 knuckles in a circular motion. So where we wanna concentrate is the outer edge of the base. We don't want to stretch the crust. We want to stretch this outer edge of the base. So we're going to work round and just concentrate on stretching that outer edge. Don't stretch it too far. Just let gravity do a lot of the work. Slowly bring your knuckles apart like this. Just gently stretching it, working your way round just on that outer edge. If you can do this whilst looking at some light, you'll be able to see if you're going too thin. Now this is a beginner's guide. There are obviously advanced ways to stretch pizzas, but we're not throwing it around or anything today. That's all it takes. I'm happy to top that now. So in this process, what we've done is we've got rid of most of the semolina. So make sure it's off your work surface again, because semolina can burn in the oven. One other thing that a lot of people struggle with is actually ending up with a circle pizza. The biggest tip that I can give you with that is if you start with a circle, you'll end with a circle. So when you've got your dough, just always keep checking that it's in a circle. At this point here, it's looking like a circle. If it was all over the place, like so, I could just reshape it and just make it back into a circle again, and that's fine. We don't want to leave it like this for too long because we risk it sticking. So what I'm going to do is get it sauced at this point. All right, so I've got my sauce spoon. You can use any spoon you want. You could use a big tablespoon or a ladle, whatever you've got, but this is a 2-ounce spoon and I know that this works perfectly for the serving of sauce that I use. So what we're going to do is get our sauce and we're going to start in the middle of the pizza. So we're going to drop it into the middle, and then we're going to do a spiral motion, hovering just above the surface and working that sauce out. Don't press down, just hover above the surface and it will distribute that sauce perfectly around. A top tip here is not to use too much sauce, because you'll get the soggy base that everyone comes across when you first start making pizzas. You dump loads of sauce on there and then wonder why it's all soggy and floppy in the middle. So that's just the perfect amount of sauce on there. Don't go too close to the edge, leave that crust. Once you form that crust, you never want to touch it again. Don't touch it with sauce, don't squeeze it, don't pick it up. Leave that air in the crust, because that is the ticket to a successful Neapolitan pizza. Now we've got our sauce on. Remember at this point, it isn't a rush, but you do need to work fairly fast because this is where the moisture will start sticking to the work surface. So we want to start moving. Now I'm going to add my Parmesan cheese to give it that depth, just a sprinkle. I'm going to shred up a couple of leaves of basil, pop that on there, and then go in with the cheese. A handful of cheese will do. Don't overload it. Make sure that it's evenly spaced, because that's how it will melt. If you put it all in one place, it's all going to melt in one place. The key to this as well is you don't want too little on there because the middle will bubble up, but you want just enough to hold the base down in the oven and then give you a nice distribution of cheese as well. And I'd say that's perfect. Again, with Neapolitan pizzas, there's normally a rule of three toppings. You got cheese, plus something else, plus something else. And then we're gonna do a little swirl of extra virgin olive oil. And that, my friends, is ready to go in the oven. So at this point, if you've got a hole, I'm gonna show you what to do. Make more dough than you're gonna use, because if you're starting out, you're gonna get holes. You're gonna experience things sticking to the side. So just make sure you've got some more dough, because you can just start again. Dough is fairly cheap to make, so make sure you've got enough for the troubleshooting. But if you've got a hole at this point, I'd say the first thing to do is to start again. But you can lift up the base. Say my hole was there, I could get a basil leaf and just put it underneath that hole as a little plaster. That's in the worst case situation. If you find you've got a really thin point in your base, you can put a basil leaf on top of that thin point and then sauce over it. I find that normally helps as well. So there are a couple of troubleshooting things you can try, but I'd say the main thing is just practice. Make more dough than you need, and then make the mistakes and see why they've happened and how you can avoid that happening again. It's just practice. So now we're ready to get the pizza in the oven. The oven is up to temperature, 450 degrees. Let's get it on the peel. I'll show you exactly how to do that. So I've got my peel. Now, we've got rid of most of the semolina, which is a good thing. Earlier I said, the more semolina the better. That's at that point. At this point, we want minimal semolina, because when it goes in the oven, it is likely to burn. So what we want to do is have a tiny bit on the end of our peel. Tiny bit of semolina on the end of our peel. And then what we're going to do is just carefully lift up one edge and then work the peel underneath. Now at this point, your pizza should be loose on the peel. You should be able to move it. If you've got that, you know that it's going to come off nicely in the oven when you launch it. So we reshape the pizza on the peel, we gently pick up the crust, and then we form our circle. I filled the peel, it's a 12-inch peel, and my pizza is filled edge to edge. It's ready to go in the oven. Let's do it. The biggest tip I can give you here is that a pizza oven will smell your fear. Do not fear launching the pizza. If you hesitate, you'll mess it up. What you need to do is put the edge down, and then you can gently bring the peel back and just work it off, or you can do it in one motion. I'll show you. Now, if you want to turn the pizza at any point, if you notice that one side is cooking faster than the other, if you've got an oven where you've got the heat source on one side, you're going to want to turn it. So what you need to look out for is the pizza cooking on that side, and when it's starting to brown, you don't have to use a turning peel, but the rule is that the peel you use to launch your pizza is not used for anything else, because if you mess this edge up, you're going to tear your pizza. So the idea is to keep this as clean as possible, but you can use it to turn your pizzas if you haven't tried a turning peel yet. So that's what we're going to do now. If I want to turn this pizza, I'm going to go in, gently work it underneath. I'm going to grab one side, spin it 180, and then go back in. So there we have our finished pizza. If you've got any questions, or if you're stuck on anything in particular, then leave your questions in the comments. I read them all, I try and reply to them all. If you're not subscribed already, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to grow the channel. I've got loads of ideas for videos for you guys, and I really appreciate you watching. It helps me massively. I hope this has helped, and I'll see you on the next one.